MSW Media.
News with swearing. Daily beans, daily beans. Daily beans, daily beans.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Beans for Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. Today, major media outlets are refusing to sign Hegseth's new Pentagon policy that requires pre-approval of news stories. Trump has managed to screw up the ceasefire and hostage deal in the Middle East. Education department layoffs hit the offices responsible for special education and civil rights. Ghislaine Maxwell had some very high-profile visitors at her meeting at the chapel where she's at the low security facility in Bryan, Texas. We'll talk about that. There are more problems being reported with the investigation into the death of Jeffrey Epstein. ICE has issued a $130 ticket to a U.S. citizen who didn't have his papers on him. Republican Representative Kevin Kiley from California breaks with Speaker Mike Johnson, and Missouri Democrats have an opportunity to block a gerrymandered Republican map. I'm Allison Gill.
And I'm Dana Goldberg.
Hello, it's Tuesday, and that's all I have to say about that.
That's the best we could do, everybody, okay? Listen, if you're on the East Coast during that crazy weather, I hope you're safe. There's some wild weather coming to Southern California tonight into tomorrow. Just be careful, please. Just stay off the roads. If you don't need to go anywhere, just hunker down, have some tea, watch some really bad reality television, and just stay safe, please.
Yeah. And if you watch South Beach Tow, you might see Lindsay Halligan, who is now the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia.
Do not watch them, though. No one needs to be reminded of where we are with who these people are. Like the fact that she is leading this prosecution against, never prosecuted a case. It seemed, I think, nothing wrong with insurance lawyers, but I think that's what she happens to be.
And boy, that's showing through. It's her inexperience.
Thank goodness.
Right. I mean, that's one of the tools we have to fight this authoritarian regime is they are fucking stupid. And we have to rely on that at every single turn.
Can you imagine how bad this would be if these were intelligent people?
I would be...
Because it's already fucking bad.
10 times more scared than I am. Anyway, that's why I worry about Stephen Miller, a little satanic little fucker with his face that I want to...
Anyway. We're not violent people, but I tell you what... Yep.
And so it's Tuesday. And again, that's all I have to say about that. Government shutdown is still going. Mike Johnson still refuses to swear in Adelita Grijalva from Arizona 7 because he's afraid of the Epstein files. And rather than come in and write a bill and pass a bill to pay the military and get VA staffed and staff the Department of Education and staff the CDC during the shutdown and to pay TSA agents and to pay air traffic controllers, rather than do that, Donald Trump is going to, as we said yesterday, steal money from research and development to pay people in the military. He's going way out of his way to avoid this. But little fissures, little cracks are happening. Republican Rep Kevin Kiley from California told CNN's Manu Raju that he thinks the House should be back in session and then Mike Johnson should swear in Adelita Grijalva. He's like, she was elected. She should be sworn in.
Good. And I bet part of that is because there's some voting going on in California that's going to, hopefully people are going to put their ballots in. We're going to get these maps fixed so that we actually can fight back against Texas gerrymandering. It's a response to that. And I'm sure some of these Republican Congress people are worried about their seat. And they should be.
Yeah. And I don't know if he's one of the 9 out of the 52 seats that we have that will be drawn into oblivion if Prop 50 passes. I dropped my ballot off yesterday. But, that's the problem, right? Even Marjorie Taylor Greene is like, the rent is too damn high. Even her.
Yeah. She's got some kids. Their insurance premiums are about to skyrocket all of a sudden. And I know it's because Marjorie Taylor Greene's going to run for higher office. That's what part of this is. But you know what? I'll take whatever semblance of sanity and breaks and fissures and all of those things in this MAGA base. I'll take them, every single one of them. Give them to me.
Whatever it takes to get her spork foot out of her mouth, just do it. It's fine. Broken clock, right? Weird bedfellows and all that. I mean, how many T-shirts do I have to quote before it starts getting weird? All right, we have a lot of news to get to today, and we've got some great good trouble, and we'll get to listener-supported good news. But first, let's hit the hot notes. Hot notes. All right, first up, from the Washington Post, of all outlets, which I wouldn't even use to line the bottom of a birdcage if I had one, media across the ideological spectrum said they will not sign the Defense Department's restrictive new press policy by Tuesday afternoon's deadline. The Washington Post, New York Times, and CNN said they will not sign it, as did Newsmax and the Washington Times.
Wow.
The policy says reporters can't obtain or solicit information from the Defense Department unless you're accidentally dropped into a signal chat by a drunk idiot. No, that's not what this says. The policy says reporters cannot obtain or solicit any information that the Defense Department does not explicitly authorize. Any media representative who does not sign by 5 p.m. Tuesday has 24 hours to turn in their media credentials and clear out the Pentagon facility. After pushback from reporters, news organizations, and press freedom advocacy groups, the Pentagon expanded the prohibitions in the document, earning condemnation last week from the Pentagon Press Association, which represents the Pentagon Press Corps. The Atlantic, the Wall Street Journal, NPR, and The Guardian, along with trade publications Task and Purpose and Breaking Defense, said they were not going to sign this thing either. Fox News, Hegseth's former employer, hasn't said yet whether they're going to sign it. The only publication that has signed it, One America News Network.
Oh, wow. That doesn't surprise me.
That's it. So how fashy do you have to be for the Washington Post to be like, nah?
It's a good sign. I love this pushback.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's pretty hardcore, right? Like there's some lines that even Bezos won't cross.
Yeah, well, I didn't know. That's what I thought before, and then they always get crossed.
Right.
But all right, this next one's from Politico. U.S. President Donald Trump managed to trigger controversy in Israel. Really shocking. Even on a celebratory occasion, marking the return of hostages from Gaza and the end of a 2-year war. I don't like that we call this a 2-year war. This has been a very long conflict, but
yeah,
I can understand why they are doing that.
October 7th.
Yeah.
And thank God the hostages are at least
on
the
both
ones
sides.
that we're living. Yeah.
On both sides. Yes. On an extraordinary day. Okay. A day of extraordinary moments. One of the most jaw-dropping one was when we saw Trump turning to Israel's president, Isaac Herzog, to advocate he pardon Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on longstanding fraud and bribery charges. It was pretty disgusting to watch.
Yeah, and I mean that just sort of like kind of solidifies the point that that Netanyahu was extending this war to avoid prosecution.
Yeah.
For the minute that they get a ceasefire, for Trump to say you should pardon him.
And the clapping, that's what bothered me, I think, the most, the amount of clapping in that room when I watched the video. And this is a quote, "Give him a pardon, come on." This is what Trump said, flashing a grin and pointing to Netanyahu, who he dubbed one of the greatest wartime leaders. Trump added, "Cigars and champagne? Who the hell cares about that? All right, enough controversy for the day." Yeah, actually, I don't think it's controversial. The remarks underscored Trump's willingness to wade into Israel's internal affairs and to do so in characteristically provocative and undiplomatic fashion to help out an ally. And it just wasn't presidential, but nothing he does is. And yes, and absolutely would prove controversial in Israel if Herzog attempted to do any such thing. And Trump's public appeal struck more traditionally minded Israelis as shocking. So this isn't the first time Trump has called for Netanyahu to be pardoned, by the way, ahead of a trial for bribery, fraud, and breach of trust, including receiving extravagant gifts, among them cigars and champagne, which is what that was referring to. The Israeli prime minister was indicted in 2019 with some of the investigations that gave rise to the charges going all the way back to 2015. The case has been delayed time and time again because of legal maneuvers by Netanyahu and his lawyers, as well as because of security and diplomatic concerns during the Gaza war. Some of Netanyahu's political foes publicly argued during the war that the Israeli leader wanted to prolong the conflict to delay any legal reckoning in the case set to resume once the guns fall silent. So
that's what I'm saying.
Assuming the ceasefire holds, Netanyahu will go to trial, but we'll see what comes from this. We're going to cover it on this podcast. So,
yeah, we definitely will. Thanks for that. Next up, a new round of layoffs. This is from PBS, by the way. A new round of layoffs at the Education Department is depleting an agency that was hit hard in the Trump administration's previous mass firings, which were done when the government was open, threatening new disruption. to the nation's students and schools in areas from special education to civil rights enforcement and after-school programs. The Trump administration started laying off 466 education department staffers Friday amid mass firings across the government meant to pressure Democratic lawmakers over the federal shutdown, which Republicans can end themselves without Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
The layoffs would cut the agency's workforce by nearly a fifth and leave it reduced by more than half its size when Trump took office in January 2025. The cuts play into Trump's broader plan to shut down the education department and parcel its operations to other agencies. Over the summer, the department started handing off its adult education and workforce programs to the Department of Labor, and it previously said it was negotiating an agreement to pass $1.6 trillion student loan portfolios to the Treasury Department. Department officials have not released details of the layoffs and did not immediately respond to requests for comment. AFGE Local 252, a union that represents about 2,700 department workers, said information from employees indicates cuts will decimate several offices within the agency. All workers except a small number of top officials are being fired at the office that implements the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. That's a federal law that ensures millions of students with disabilities get support from their schools. Unknown numbers are being fired at the Office for Civil Rights, which investigates complaints of discrimination at the nation's schools and universities. The layoffs would eliminate or heavily deplete teams that oversee the flow of grant funding to schools across the nation. It hits the office that oversees Title I funding for the country's low-income schools, along with the team that manages 21st century community learning centers, the primary federal funding source for after-school and summer learning programs. This will also hit an office that oversees TRIO, which is a set of programs that help low-income students pursue college, and another that oversees federal funding for historically Black colleges and universities. Do you see where this is going?
Yes, I do.
So the very rich universities that are open, he wants a signed thing saying, yes, we will do your bidding, otherwise not get federal grants. Of course, we talked about yesterday, MIT not bending the knee to that. But now they're dismantling all the protections for students and marginalized communities and people with disabilities that help everybody have an equitable education, dismantling all those offices under the guise of Democrats shutting down the government.
It's disgusting. All right, this one's from the Chicago Trib. Ruben Antonio Cruz was sitting with a friend in Rogers Park when ICE agents pulled up onto the street. The immigration officers stopped their truck and they went straight after them on October 9th. This is what Cruz told the Tribune. He said, they asked us if we have papers. I said, I do, but I don't have them on me. This is what Cruz, he's a 60-year-old man. He's got heart problems, originally from El Salvador. He recalled all of this in Spanish, by the way. The agents stood Cruz up, put him in their truck, drove around in circles and asked questions. Where were you born? What's your name? Who's your mother? Who's your father? He said, I told them they are dead. That's what Cruz said. The agents said they needed the information anyway so that they could look him up in their database. Eventually, the agents verified that he is, in fact, legally in the country, and they let him go, but not before writing him a $130 ticket for not having his papers. What? Cruz's friend, who is homeless, did not have legal status and was taken away by the feds. Under federal law, registered foreign nationals must carry proof of registration with them at all times, apparently. But prior to a second Trump administration, it was rarely enforced. Of course. As Donald escalates his immigration crackdown in Chicago and its suburbs, and I quote, Operation Midway Blitz, agents are using broad federal authority when targeting suspected immigrants. So if you happen to be listening to this, and you are in this country legally, but you happen to be a registered foreign national, just carry your papers on you.
That sucks.
If you have them, just carry them on you.
We're now do you have your papers?
This is fucking Holocaust shit.
Yeah.
Carry your papers on you? Mm-hmm. You don't think that's what they asked the Jews every time they knocked on a door? Mm-hmm. Every time they ran into someone on the street? This is horrifying.
That's what really struck me when I read the article about what happened at the apartment building in Chicago where the Black Hawk helicopters and the rappelling and they separated the people into Black people in one truck and Hispanic people in another truck and zip tied the naked children together.
Yeah.
The thing that stood out to me is after they went room by room to take pictures, all of their belongings thrown and strewn about, but that there were papers strewn everywhere like birth certificates and, your papers.
Yeah.
And it seemed like people were scrambling to find those. And I just, that's the image that sticks in my head.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. Anyway, thank you for that story, and thank you for that reporting. But, man,
the stories are tough.
I don't want to live in a country. Do you have your show me your papers country? That's not.
Yeah, no kidding.
What the hell this is? Anyway, from the Wall Street Journal. On a weekend in mid-August, hundreds of inmates at a minimum security prison in Bryan, Texas, were locked down during their usual time for strolling in the grassy campus and visiting with family and friends. All except one. Ghislaine Maxwell, the 63-year-old associate of Jeffrey Epstein, convicted for her role in helping him sexually abuse underage teens. Rape, I call that rape. With her fellow inmates, while they were confined into their dormitories after breakfast, Maxwell met with several visitors in the federal prison camp's chapel. They locked down the whole place so she could meet with these visitors. Less than 3 weeks earlier, the Justice Department had moved Maxwell to Bryan from a higher security facility in Tallahassee, Florida. Under the Federal Bureau of Prisons rules, prisoners with sex crime convictions like Maxwell's, it says don't ordinarily qualify to serve their time in such camps, but it's actually, they never qualify. They're never qualified.
Right.
The transfer followed an interview with Senior Justice Department official Todd Blanche, during which Maxwell said she'd never seen Donald Trump, during his long association with Epstein, doing anything inappropriate or illegal. Maxwell's unexpected arrival upset the camp's usually relaxed atmosphere, leading to more frequent lockdowns, the addition of armed guards, and some other changes. Current and former inmates said in interviews that Maxwell appears to receive unusually favorable treatment, sparking resentment from other inmates. Yeah, if my free time, I had to go on lockdown because Ghislaine Maxwell got a surprise high-profile visitor.
And I'm just saying, everyone's got their breaking point.
Yeah. Now, it couldn't be determined who Maxwell met with in the chapel that day. I would like to know. Some prisoners heard the lockdown was needed to accommodate an important visitor or important visitors. David Marcus, the lawyer for Maxwell, who I got in a Twitter fight with and won, declined to comment.
Yeah, I think that should be public knowledge, that's for sure. Okay, this next story is from CBS. The federal investigation, this is interesting, into the death of convicted sex trafficker and horrible human being Jeffrey Epstein was marred by significant lapses. This is what experts told CBS News, including the failure by investigators to interview potential witnesses, properly preserve certain evidence, and run basic forensic tests. There's a bunch of shit in a cell that also got moved. Nearly 2 years passed before investigators interviewed the two key correction officers on duty the night Epstein died in his cell in the Metropolitan Correctional Center in downtown New York City, in what was later ruled a suicide, according to court documents. Okay. One of those officers was the only person to attest to seeing Epstein hanging by a bedsheet from his bunk. Attest to seeing it. Just one person. Details pulled from 90 photos of the cell and other evidence collected in the hours after Epstein's death, but before FBI agents arrived to process the scene. That's what I'm talking about, this stuff being moved. It appeared to show a succession of basic oversights, ranging from an absence of evidence markers to items being moved. This is what experts told CBS News. Epstein's body was discovered at 6:30 in the morning on August 10th of 2019 by corrections officer Michael Thomas when he arrived in his cell to deliver breakfast. Thomas said he found the accused felon in a near-seated position, suspended from the top of the bunk by a homemade noose, with his legs straight out and his buttocks approximately 1 inch to 1.5 inches off the floor, according to the Inspector General's report. The first FBI agents arrived on the cell more than 7 hours later.
Oh.
Okay. 7 hours later.
Big important.
I know.
Important investigation.
Right? You would think that that would have been a high-profile, quote-unquote, suicide.
Yeah. I'm not in law enforcement, but don't touch anything until the FBI arrives.
Yeah. And they're in New York. It's not like they're in the middle of, you know what I mean? America, right. There's FBI in New York. But when they arrived, photos show that they found a very disorganized, rifled through clutter, basically. Crucially, Epstein's lifeless body had already been removed from the cell. eliminating a critical source of information investigators would need to determine how and when he died. That's from a forensic pathologist, Michael Baden. Now, on the back wall, a surveillance camera is visible. It was streaming, but not recording. This was due to a hard drive malfunction that had previously been identified but not fixed. That's according to the Justice Department report. Who was in charge of the Justice Department at that time? A guy named Bill Barr.
Sure. Highest profile case in the country, on suicide watch. We don't need that camera in the cell working.
And remind me who Bill Barr's father is?
Oh, that's right.
That's right. He owned a school that hired Jeffrey Epstein to teach math. Okay. And he wrote some fucked up book about sci-fi book about sex trafficking underage alien girl. Okay. Everyone listen. I'm going to continue with the story. Maybe we'll talk about that in our video podcast.
Just look. Hey, when you find a dead body, Dana, are you supposed to move it before the police get there?
No, you're supposed to leave it there.
Are you sure?
Even I know that. I'm pretty sure. Hey, I'm not a legal expert and I'm not a forensics expert, but I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
there's more.
And I loathe to give legal advice on the show.
Yes.
I'm not a lawyer, but don't touch dead bodies. Okay,
just don't touch. That's actually advice I feel like we could hold. Don't touch dead bodies for many reasons, not just legal ones. There's more stuff in this article. Photos of the bed raise questions. One shows an orange string hanging from a bar. This picture was included in a 2023 report by the Department of Justice's Inspector General, alongside a description of how Epstein was found, suggesting investigators believe that was what he used to hang himself. Okay? If that was the case, and the room hadn't been disturbed before the photographer arrived, Epstein's rear would have come to rest on a mattress instead of hovering over the floor. That's complicating investigators' explanation of how he hanged himself. There's no indication in any official report that an FBI crime scene investigators, any of their reports officially known as the Evidence Response Team, ever ran fingerprints or DNA tests on anything found in the cell. Listen, we've talked about the tinfoil hats. This is shit that we have been dealing with for a long time. And yeah, conspiracy theories maybe have never been proven, but this isn't just a theory. This isn't a conspiracy. This is an actual theory because this is proof of all of the things that did not go right during that investigation.
I feel like Joe Biden. Come on, man. So took the FBI 7 hours to get there. And when they got there, they didn't take any fingerprints or DNA tests.
Nope. Body was gone.
Why did it take them 7 hours? Did they have to go talk to Bill Barr first and get instructions on how to process the crimes? What? You know
Probably.
what? Anyway, WT, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say about that.
Fuck. We're going to just use the letters for the first two words that are not curse words. We're going to say WT, fuck, instead of...
It's from an old comedy routine I used to do about how I would try to abbreviate my swear words around my goddaughter. And I would always abbreviate the wrong words. Yeah.
That's very funny.
So I sold shirts that said WT fuck.
That's a good bit, my friend. Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you very much. All right, everybody, it's time for some good trouble.
What are you guys doing?
All right, today's good trouble mission, should you choose to accept it, comes from Politico. Democrats are pushing ahead with last-ditch efforts to stymie Republican mid-decade redistricting in Missouri and Ohio, although they face unclear paths to blocking the potential gerrymanders amid the nationwide brawl ahead of 2026. Democrats in Missouri are gathering signatures in an attempt to delay and then outright repeal the state's new map through a ballot measure. And in Ohio, they face even longer odds. With almost no viable mechanism to stop the redraw, Democrats are attempting to apply pressure to the state's Republican-controlled redistricting commission. But let's talk about Missouri.
Okay. The referendum initiative in Missouri is being organized by people, not politicians. That's the group, with support from state and national Democrats. The committee will need to collect over 100,000 valid signatures, okay, everyone, across multiple congressional districts before the state's 90-day window expires on December 11th. If Democrats can collect enough valid signatures, the state would be temporarily unable to enact the new maps until voters can weigh in on the referendum. Okay? You can sign up to help collect signatures, everyone. If you're not sure what you want to do and you're in Missouri, you can sign up to help collect signatures using the link in the show notes. We're going to make sure you have that.
What a cool creative workaround.
Yeah.
We're going to collect enough signatures for a ballot measure on your maps. And while that's pending, you can't use the new maps. That's fantastic.
I love it. Yep.
I love the energy.
So if you're in California, vote. Make sure you get your ballot in by November 4th. And then with this one, Missouri, sign up, help get signatures, because that's December 11th.
Yep, that's the deadline. All right, next up is the good news, but first we have to take a quick break. If you'd like to get this show ad-free, you can sign up for a premium feed at patreon.com/thedailybeans. Stick around. We'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
So sometimes it's not about burnout or sleepless nights. It's the everyday aches and stresses that build up quietly over time. And that's where CBDistillery really shines. Their line of premium CBD products works with your body, not against it, to help ease tension, promote focus, and make life a little easier to handle, which we could all use right now. So I want to thank them for sponsoring this episode and for the discount that you get for listening to this episode. 25% off your entire purchase at CBDistillery.com and use promo code DailyBeans. Now, I started using CBDistillery a while ago when I was searching for something that could genuinely help me recover after long, intense workouts. The Relief Stick quickly became my favorite go-to product in the lineup. The cooling sensation is amazing. It's refreshing. It's soothing. Starts to work right away. I use it on like sore shoulders, tight calves, especially in the back of the calves, and even my lower back after long days. And it helps me bounce back and stay active and feel ready to move again without feeling beat down the next day. CBDistillery offers more than one solution for wellness as well. Their products are thoughtfully designed to work with your body to ease stress, improve focus, and support everyday recovery. I also love how clean and transparent everything is. That's important to me. These formulas are made with premium, carefully sourced ingredients, no fillers, no mystery chemicals, no unnecessary additives. And over 2 million people have already made the switch to CBDistillery. And it makes perfect sense. From personal experience, I know their products truly work. So if you're looking for simple, consistent, effective ways to feel better in your body and your mind, CBDistillery is the way to go. So if you're ready for better sleep, less stress, and feeling good in your own skin again, try CBD from CBDistillery. Right now, you can save 25% off your entire purchase. Just visit CBDistillery.com and use promo code DailyBeans. That's CBDistillery.com, promo code DailyBeans. One last time, visit CBDistillery.com and use promo code DailyBeans. You'll be glad you did. Everybody, welcome back. It's time for the good news.
Good news, everyone. Then good news, everyone.
Good news. And we would love to hear your good news or your good trouble suggestions, or maybe your shout outs to loved ones or a small business in your area, or maybe a group of community organizers you're working with. Maybe you've joined Trouble Nation where you live or Indivisible. We'd love to hear about that. There's some great Democratic Party clubs out there too. Perhaps you're out collecting signatures in Missouri to stop the gerrymandered maps. We would love to hear about that. Would love to hear about that. Maybe you have a shout out to a nonprofit that's doing some great work or a government program that's helped you or a loved one. Any little bit of good news that you would share with your family and friends, consider the beans, the leguminati, your family and friends. So it could be tiny good news that happened yesterday or massive good news that happened 10 years ago. It doesn't matter. Send it all to us, dailybeanspod.com, click on contact. And to get your good news on the air or your good trouble on the air, you just got to pay your pod pet tariff, which means attach a photo of your pet. If you don't have that, an adoptable pet in your area will do. If you don't have that, a bird watching photo will work. And that can be a bird or you flipping the bird to a Trump hotel. We love those photos. Everyone has one somewhere in their phone, I think. I know I have several every time I see one. If you don't have that, just really grab a random animal photo off the internet. Send us your favorite photo of inflatable animals at protests. That works too.
We do love those.
We do. Oh, Portland, they know how to protest there, man. Everywhere, but Portland especially. And then, of course, really just any photo of maybe something you're making or creating. You want to share your hobby with us. I know we have a lot of makers and creators here and entrepreneurs that listen to the Beans. Just send us any photo that makes you happy. And send it all to us, dailybeanspod.com, and click on contact. First up from Becky, pronouns she and her. Oh my God, Becky. Good morning, beanie ladies, with a special mention to Dana, who gave me a much-needed morning chuckle. We can all agree zip lining is not an appropriate activity for babies.
Okay, let me just cue this up before we do this. Yesterday, I didn't even realize I said it. I was on a little rant about why Trump doesn't deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. And apparently, I, like I often do, misspoke, and it created a nice moment of levity in a very tough day. Listen real quick.
You can't be a Nazi and get the Nobel Peace Prize. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Just
you
doesn't
don't
work
get
that
to,
way.
be put in your own military against U.S. citizens, disappearing people in the streets, ripping people away, ziplining babies in the middle of the night, putting them out in the street without clothes on with their families while you figure out if they're U.S. citizens or if they've broken a law. That doesn't exactly add to peacetime and a Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh my God.
I think ziplining babies would be cute. Like, I want to see babies ziplining. I understand now where I went wrong. I guess the proper phrase is zip tying. No one wants to imagine that.
Man, when you got that righteous rage and you go on rants, sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes it comes out weird. But
That's right. It
we all
came
knew
out
what
weird
you
that day,
meant.
but glad I gave
We
you a
all knew
good
what you
laugh.
meant. Anyway, thanks, Becky.
All right. This is from Subversive Shrink, pronouns she and her. Hello, Allison and Dana. I just wanted to say thank you for the Daily Beans. When I found the podcast in January, I was a completely overwhelmed news junkie, unsure how to stay informed and sane at the same time. For the past 9 months, you've been there for me, a critical part of my sanity in a world where it often feels like a series of worse and worse events. It's hard to make this short and still express how much the show has meant. Hearing the good news from other listeners, it's become one of my favorite parts of the pod. It's motivated me on the days when I felt like action doesn't matter and inspired me to keep moving forward when the world feels too heavy. Since listening, I've started writing a Substack called Subversive Shrink, where I blend psychology, politics, and culture, exploring privilege, projection, and power through the lens of a psychologist trying to make sense of it all. I love this idea, by the way. My series, The Politics of Projection, grew from looking at my own history of being bullied and how it gets re-triggered by the orange felon. My latest pod wrestles with the messy human work of practicing nonviolence when it feels impossible. But the biggest change has been right here at home. Inspired by your example of turning outrage into action, I organized a group we now call Neighbors for Nonviolence in our purple corner of Washington State. At first, it was just me and my walking buddy Julie, finding each other through matching yard signs in 2024. In September of this year, we started quietly canvassing the neighborhood, reaching out to others who might share our values, people who cared about democracy, inclusion, and decency, but didn't know where to start. What's grown from that has been extraordinary. Our group has nearly 30 members now, and the neighborhood feels transformed. We used to pass each other in silence, unsure of where anyone stood. Now people wave, we stop and talk to each other's street, and we share ideas about how to expand our movement. We're organizing around cooperative nonviolence, supporting inclusive school board candidates, and rediscovering what community feels like. It's hope in real time, and it all started with wanting to do something. It keeps me going and lifts my spirits on those really hard days. Thank you for the laughs, the hope, and all the fucking swearing. You have helped me make my rage useful and hope feel possible. Pod pet tax attached. My cat Annie, middle name is Badass. She rules the house, keeps our 2 large rescue dogs firmly in check, and takes no shit from anyone.
Oh, she's adorable.
She sure is.
Subversive Shrink. I love this. And I love your Substack idea, Subversive Shrink. I'm going to go check it out. And that's just so cool. You just start walking, meeting your neighbors and grow something.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for something that's already established, like we've talked to Red Wine and Blues, Trouble Nation, find your Trouble Nation, find your indivisible group. It's so, the community, I've been to like so many community events and they really just, I don't know, they rejuvenate me, you know?
Yeah,
be around
they
other
really
people.
do.
All right, next up from Lex. While the world collapses, I can always find happiness underwater. Can you name this happy critter? No, Lex. I cannot.
It looks like a jellyfish, but there's no way. It's got to be something else.
Okay, let's see what this is. This is a lion's mane nudibranch. Okay.
Nudibranch.
Branch.
That's fun.
Nudibranch. I like him. Is he
he's
alive?
cute.
I mean, I know
I don't
he's
know, but he's
alive,
naked.
Is he animal, vegetable, or mineral?
Nudibranch.
He is nudie.
All right, take the next
Anyway.
one. That was crazy short.
I love that. Thank you. I see. That's all you got to do for the good news. Send in your nudie branks. That's all you got to do.
I hope everyone heard that right. Otherwise, we're going to get some fucked up pictures.
Yeah, sorry, producers. Next up from Gene, pronouns he and him. Hi, Queens of the Beans. Just a short note to thank you for being a reliable source of news and information, not to mention quality F-bombs in this era of increasing capitulation of MSM to MAGA douchebaggery. Believe me, in this redneck, cracker-infested corner of Northern Cali, you and others in independent journalism are appreciated more than you know. I attended the first No Kings in June here in Chico. Chico. Since then, though, health issues this summer had pretty much sidelined me. Now, though, I'm in good enough shape for a 76-year-old, that is, to get out there with my big-ass mouth and some not safe for work signage.
Nice.
Fuck Trump, Miller, Noam, and each and every ICE a-hole mofo. Early, often, repeatedly, and with malice aforethought. That is one way to tell people to fuck off, Gene. I appreciate it. Maybe we just call them ice holes. Anyway, for pet tax, here's a shout out to our cat Gizmo. He, we think, a lilac lynx point Siamese. Don't know for sure, but that's the vet's best guess since I found him 8 years ago under a car at a stoplight where he was tying up traffic and agreed to take me on as his chief of staff. That is a great way to put it, Gene. He had a hematoma on his left ear, drained earlier this year, and that's given him his new Vincent van Gogh look. I need to give a shout out to our dear friend Carrie for the Zentangle drawing she made of him. Carrie's a free-spirited, joyous nomad crafter and artist traveling around the country to explore new places and discover new outlets for her creativity. She spent nearly 3 months with us, helping us around the house while my wife recuperated from hip replacement surgery before heading down to the Arizona desert for the winter last week. We already miss her and can't thank her enough.
No.
Know your parasites.
So good.
Oh, that drawing is awesome.
Yeah, it is. That's very cool.
What a sweet baby. Thank you so
Got some
much for
talented
that.
people.
Thanks, Gene.
Yep. All right. This is from Tony, pronouns he and him. Dear Leguminots, for my good trouble, I have been planning to go to Cleveland or Columbus for the next No Kings rally this coming Saturday. But as I shared before, I've been attending the weekly protest in my town of Aliens, Ohio. Alliance. Aliens, Dana. We're just going to leave that. Alliance.
Watch. It's aliens, and I got it wrong. Watch. You watch. Somebody will call in and say it's alliance, not Leviosa.
Or something's going to be silent. It's just it's Alliance, yeah. Ohio. Okay,
Lance. It's just Lance, Ohio.
Yeah. About 30 stalwarts have been gathering every Saturday for the last 25 weeks at noon to protest our rapid descent to fascism. I'm just going to introduce for a second because I love that people are doing this so often. I saw a meme and it was said the Europeans, the reason their protest works so well is because they do it every fucking day until something changes. And we keep doing ours like every 4 months. But it's very interesting.
Yeah, it must be nice to not have 60-hour work weeks and
I know, right?
Paid time off.
I know. But this 25 weeks at noon to protest our rapid descent into fascism, well done. I joined up about a month ago with the big ass flags. And when I realized I could bungee flagpoles to fence posts, I started bringing more. Yesterday, I had 16 flags. I'm eagerly awaiting delivery of 3 more. I love this guy so much. There's an 8x12 American flag, a bigger 6x10 Ukrainian flag, and a 4x6 No Kings in America flag. We also had for the first time an inflatable Trump chicken costume. Last week, I debuted my German, anti-fascist action. And that's a German word. And Allison, you're usually good with that. You want to give it a shot?
Let's see. Anti-fascist. No, can't do it.
Okay. It's an anti-fascist action flag in German. I had to order all the way to from a socialist bookstore, Carlton Books, in Glasgow, Scotland, to find it in German. It will fly right next to the biggest American flag on Saturday. We've heard the whole clown car of Trumpish screechers saying this is a hate America rally, claiming that it is being organized by Antifa or Hamas or drug gangs or space aliens and powered by Soros bucks and Jewish space lasers.
Hamas? No, I'm sorry. The Qatari base in Idaho is being organized by Hamas.
Yeah, it was Johnson, by the way, that said it was Hamas. What utter bollocks. It is the highest expression of patriotism and love for America to take to the streets to defend the rule of law, the Constitution, democracy, and our neighbors from a totalitarian cabal led by Putin's taint liquor. I'm anti-fascist as fuck and proud of it. If Pee Wee German, Stephen Miller, if it wasn't obvious, thinks it will be able to stop us, he's got 4'10" of nope headed his way. Everyone thinks Stephen Miller's 4'10", which is amazing.
Because AOC said he was.
Yeah. Several days ago, we saw a goon in Portland shoot pepper spray into the air intake of a guy in an inflatable frog costume. I heard about this, by the way.
Oh,
I know because my friend Joy actually went and still got another inflatable knowing this had happened. And then she was with one of the Daily Show guys, topless because of Naked Portland. I'm so proud of her. So proud of her.
awesome.
Okay.
Amazing.
Yes. So they pepper sprayed into the air intake of one of the inflatable frog costumes. It was pure evil. The guy was okay. He said, I'm a Mexican. I'm used to spicy food. Last night, there were dozens of people in inflatable costumes having a dance party at the same spot. There was a sparkly rainbow unicorn, a capybara, some cows, several frogs, and a fucking carrot. This creativity, courage, and goofiness in the face of terrorists, it gives me transcendent joy. Attached, please find pics of Friday's rally and a few other events.
Look at this. Amazing.
Yeah, Naked Portland. I mean, I fucking love it.
Didn't they do their bike ride? Is it called Critical Mass? Their bike ride, the naked bike ride, or is that something here
that I
I'm
don't know what it's
confusing it
called?
with?
But yeah,
they all got on their bikes. They do it once a year, but they said let's do it again.
And I think it happened. I think there was a lot of people in inflatables who didn't want to be naked, but then there was all the other naked people.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it weird,
God, Portland.
keeping it joyful.
Look, it's a free fucking country. It's a
That's
free
right.
country, Republicans. Do you hear me? Just fuck off. I don't know what else to say. Just fuck off. All the way off. Please. If I want to wear pants, I'll wear pants. If I want to wear a mask, I'll wear a mask. If I want to dress like a man or a woman or whoever the fuck I will dress, I will do what I want because it is a free goddamn country.
Yes, indeed. I like when you get mad.
When did the Democrats become the free country party? It's so everything is backwards and upside down.
Yeah, we should.
And-
I think we've always been the free country party. Our branding just sucks.
We just didn't pay the NFL to help us out. I think it's,
Probably.
oh man. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening. This is why I get up in the morning and this is why I do all this action. You guys are amazing. Keep sending in your good news. Good. It's dailybeanspod.com. Click on contact. Do you have any final thoughts, my friend?
No, I do not.
All right. We'll be back in your ears tomorrow. Until then, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, take care of the planet, take care of your mental health, and take care of your family. I've been AG.
I've been DG.
And them's the beans.
The Daily Beans is written and executive produced by Allison Gill with additional research and reporting by Dana Goldberg. Sound design and editing is by Desiree McFarlane, with art and web design by Joelle Reeder with Moxie Design Studios. Music for The Daily Beans is written and performed by They Might Be Giants, and the show is a proud member of the MSW Media Network, a collection of creator-owned podcasts dedicated to news, politics, and justice. For more information, please visit mswmedia.com.
MSW Media.